Welcome back to Three-Way with NGK. I'm Nicole.
I'm Grace.
And I'm Karina.
And we have the lovely guest today. Please introduce yourself.
I'm Janielle Mckoy.
Okay, actually, I'm going to take that back and do the thorough introduction of her.
Do her justice.
A very good friend, family friend. The mom is like my mom, and just all around like a dope person. But Janielle is actually a fashion producer and learning differences advocate, from showcasing her personal style and herself and her clients on and off television, sharing her experiences living with dyslexia in the corporate world. She's definitely far from the average guru, and I could attest to that after knowing her for this many years. She has over 10 years of visual display consulting experience and has worked for powerhouses like Harry Rosen, Saks Fifth Avenue, Holt Renfrew, along with television networks like CBC and BET. Today, she has shifted gears and has brought her styling skills behind and in front of the camera. She has been a skills behind and in front of the camera. She has been a fashion expert on popular morning shows like Cityline with Tracy Moore, which is dope. This is once or twice a month, I believe. But you can find her on there sharing the latest fashion trends, but on a budget, which is dope. We all want to look fly on a budget. When she's not in front of the camera, she's behind the scenes working as a costume buyer for film and television. My mouth is just so full.
You have a portfolio.
What a portfolio. And you know, we see so many stylists in the making, and it's just good to see like where you've gone with that.
Thank you.
But I gotta ask, what's the root for this inspiration for you? Like, how did this birth itself? Because you wear so many hats.
Oh geez, I've always loved fashion. From the time I was a kid. I used to cut up my clothes and then move to my mom's clothes and then cut it up.
Ooh,
so you imagine Jamaican family, how that would work? You have no idea. No idea. It was madness. And for a while, my mom honestly thought there was something wrong with me, like psychological, because she was just like, why do you keep cutting up clothes and stuff? But it was my way to express myself, because unfortunately back in my day, in elementary school and even high school, like fashion wasn't really something that a lot of teachers really pushed. It's just like, be a teacher, be a lawyer, be a doctor, and so on. And if they ever spoke about fashion, they only spoke about being like a sales associate and stuff. So I was just like, okay, I don't know why I'm cutting up this stuff. I'm bored. Like, the clothes that my dolls have, I don't like it, so I'm gonna make my own. And like, you know, literally cutting up marinas and so on, making like cute little outfits for the dolls and whatever. And when I came out of elementary school and high school, first of all, I barely passed high school, so that was quite an experience. Long story short, the guidance counselor one day when I was in grade 11 or 12 basically told me there was no hope for me. Flat out.
Wow, some guidance.
I will not say her name.
Name drop.
Trust me.
Why do
She knows who she is.
Who are
but
you?
She still works. She's still, I think, maybe retired now. But she flat out told me in grade 11 that there was no hope for me, and that I should go, after I graduate, I should go and find work. And if I don't, if I'm interested in going into college, I should go and take a course called General Arts and Science. And that's where I would find myself. Flat out. That was it.
Oh my God.
Done.
Wow,
So imagine being around like all of your peers. They're graduating, knowing where they're gonna go. And I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna do OAC for a bit.
And those are crucial years too.
And there's no OAC anymore, right?
Grade 13.
Okay,
That's when I just came to Canada.
That
was last year.
So I went to OAC and then was there for about a year. No, sorry, half a year. And then found a job at American Express and was just working there.
Everybody was working at American Express.
But American Express, that job has put some people in some houses and some Benzes.
Trust me, like I was happy with my little $16 an hour job. I'm like, yes, I will take this, my little benefits.
That's crazy.
And then after about a year being there, they laid me off. And I'm like, you know what? Let me see about this whole fashion thing. So a way for me to express myself is I would go to these parties, because back in the day, parties used to be lit.
Like lit.
Not so much anymore. It's like here and there. But I used to go to these parties with my homegirl Sharona Osborne, and we would just pretty much wear these outfits and just stunt.
Yeah.
on people.
Janelle
And
was
you guys
the it
did
girl.
that
She
it
was
girl.
the it
I remember like,
girl.
you remember Janelle? Like, yo, that's Janelle? Like, you know?
Yeah, so
You did
that
your
was a
thing.
way for us to get noticed. And this young woman by the name of Flo, she stopped me at a party and she asked me if I was a stylist. And I thought she was talking about hair because, you know, my hair used to be slick.
She had
Yeah.
that it hairdo
Like,
too.
Slick, perm,
That, like-
straight, short hair.
Uh-huh.
So when she asked me if I was a stylist, I thought she was talking about hair. And she's like, no, a wardrobe stylist. So I was like, I don't know what that is. And she's just like, okay, there's a photo shoot that I'm doing. She used to do these survival caravana guides. Like because, you know, Caravana always brings in the Americans and so on.
Yeah.
So she used to create this booklet that would literally list all the parties and all the events to go to. And she asked me if I would be interested in styling some of the models.
Yeah.
I didn't really feel comfortable doing that, so she brought on these two girls, the stylist group called the Bossy Girls back in the day, and I assisted them. And that's when I fell in love. Like instantly fell in love with it. Although I was like tying shoes and just lint rolling and steaming. I was just like,
You saw the possibilities.
Like that was like that was your space. That was
Exactly.
opportunity that
this
you
is
needed.
what I wanted to do, and
Took off
it's
from
a
there.
long story, but I'm gonna keep it short.
Right.
But while I was trying to figure out this whole styling thing, I was still in college. I went to Seneca, took general arts and science, like the guidance counselor told me, and I failed it. Took international business, failed it. Took fashion, I failed it. So I failed college about 5 times.
Wow, and you kept going.
Yeah.
So
You
lucky
just
for that.
didn't
Yeah,
stop. You didn't
yeah.
stop.
It was put on academic probation, was kicked out of Seneca, had to write them a letter letting them know that I want to continue and so on. Not to mention, student loan, which just keep giving me money.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
The devil?
Because you gotta pay it back.
Trust me, they kept giving me money, even though I'm failing. They keep giving me money.
Of course.
So yeah, after about 5 years, I'm like, forget this. I'm not doing this anymore. Like it's just for my mental health. It's just not
Like
it's not working.
This
That's
route's
right.
not working for
that's
you.
right.
And
that's right.
a few months later, I'm like, I'm gonna give this one last shot, and went to George Brown and applied as a mature student, and took fashion management. And while I was there, something was just like, let me just go into a guidance counselor's office
Wow.
and just
Good
talk
for
to
you.
them.
Good for
You didn't lose
Tony.
faith
You didn't
after
lose
that
faith.
first
Listen,
one.
the
That's
determination.
amazing. That's amazing.
God, like I don't. To this day, I would have given up if that was if I. I'm just thinking about if that was me now. I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah.
Like after the
Yeah.
second time, I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm
like,
done.
I'm good.
Like, this is it.
Gotta go.
But something in me was just like, continue. And I went to spoke to this guidance counselor. Her name was Stephanie, and was telling her like
Your experience.
just my experience and just how I see things and how I read and so. And she's writing things down, and I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, what is this? And she's just like, I'm gonna bring a psychologist in and test you to see if you may have a learning difference or a learning disability. And I'm like, there's no way. I'm like, no, there's no way. I'm fine. Like, I've been tested. Everybody said there was nothing wrong with me, whatever. It's just like, just trust me. She was like, the fact that you're on OSAP, you can get tested for free. So I'm like, okay, cool. This is something that a lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks later, a psychologist came in and tested me for like 3 hours from everything that I've ever learned from the time I was in elementary school all the way to like college.
That's
like
amazing.
basic ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, just trying to test my memory.
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks after that, my learning strategist calls me in, and she has this stack of papers and just reading it, and I just told her to stop. I'm just like, what does all of this mean? Because this is just too much. She was like, you're dyslexic. And I'm like,
Wow.
excuse me? Because the last I heard about dyslexia from watching the Cosby Show, but no one's ever told me
You don't
about
hear
it
about it.
before. And then coming from a West Indian family, that's not something
They
that
talk about
we
that.
we talk
yeah.
about. Like it's just, oh, you're stupid, you're dumb, go read book, whatever. And it was I want to say my parents were like that. They just didn't know.
They didn't know.
The learning strategist found out that I have dyslexia. So I was just like, what does that mean? She's just like, well, you have difficulty reading and writing. And I'm like, well, I can read and I can write. She was just like, yeah, but sometimes your words get a little jumbled. And even when I was talking to her, she was just like, even when you're talking and your eyes kind of go different ways and so on, it's because your brain is trying to process that information.
Got it.
And I didn't really pick that up until like even recently now, like whenever I talk to somebody, sometimes I'm over here because my brain is trying to figure out exactly how to put these things together
and make it make sense.
It's difficult.
So how did they not pick it up in elementary school and in high school? How did it go on so long before it was brought to your attention?
Because my dyslexia isn't that severe because there's different stages and levels. So I'm mild. I'm like right in the middle. So I can read and I can write. But sometimes whenever I'm reading, like especially when it's like a textbook full of words, I will get to the middle and then everything will be like blurry. And for the longest while, I thought I needed glasses. But it was like my brain was trying to like decode this information. And then just everything just went foggy. So I'm like, okay, is it because I'm not interested in this stuff anymore? Like, what's going on? So once I was diagnosed, everything just made sense, like legit. And I will never forget. I'm gonna get a little emotional, but I'll never forget the day I walked home, and I showed my mom the paper. This was like I was 23 when I was diagnosed, and I showed my mom the paper of everything and saying that I'm dyslexic. And my mom was at the top of the stairs. She ran down and she just broke down. Like right there, just flat out cried. And she was just like, I knew it.
She said she knew it?
Yeah,
she knew
something was going on. She knew something was going on. But because no one believed her. They were just like, she's lazy. There's nothing wrong. Like my mom used to plead with people to hold me back. Like literally hold me back. She was like, there's something not right with her. Like I teach her this, and I was tying my shoes backwards from like the time I was in grade 11. Didn't know left and right until I was like in grade 12. I still have a hard time even reading a clock, like one of those. Unless it's like a digital one, then it's very difficult for me to understand. But long story short, I know I keep saying long story short.
We'd love to hear.
But so once I received the tools to help me while being dyslexic, like writing in colored pens, because color is a huge stimulation for me, and also listening to instrumentals when I study. So whenever I'm reading, I'm making a song in my head, and songs, like I'm very audio. I can hear things like from a mile away, and that stuff really like stimulates my mind and stuff. And long story short, I graduated with A's and B's at George Brown. And was nominated for valedictorian at George Brown College, and got an internship at BET Television Network.
Look at that!
I was working for 106 in Park as an intern.
That's amazing.
And while I was there, I was J. Cole's first stylist.
That's
amazing.
Talk about
it.
Talk about it.
So the road has just been, it definitely has its challenges.
Of course.
I make it a duty to, anywhere I work, I have to let them know that I have dyslexia. So they're not thinking that, oh, Janielle's not paying attention or she's not listening. It's just how I process that information. And I'm constantly writing things down and asking questions and stuff like that, because before I was scared. I was just like, I don't want people to think I'm stupid, but now I just don't care. Like it's either you have me on or you don't. Like it is what it is. So
that's definitely inspiring, because so many people suffer from that and don't even have an idea.
And they don't even know, like, how did it get to 23? Exactly. That's what concerns me, and that is what is like, wow.
I think especially in our culture, especially, there's so many things that are not talked about, right? Like, and obviously we talked about the last few years. I know sometimes when we chill, we're saying it's good that, like, therapy is like becoming more normal. Seeking psychological help is okay, right? Because when you come from the cultures like ours, we were just told just pray to God and you're okay. Like just go to church and that's okay. But like no, like these conversations are not encouraged. So shout out to you. Again, just being around your family and seeing how you guys support each other. I think that's dope too. I think you guys, I think your family is so from your mom, and your mom does not just support you. Like we're her daughters too. Like she's like trying to get in our business, like whether you want to talk to her or not. And so it's super encouraging to see what you've done the years to come. Your success is just unmatched.
Thank you.
Move with humility, and I love that.
Yeah, I have
so many times
my mother will box me across my face.
Exactly, because you see so many people like just like, you know, sure, with all this bragging rights, I mean, shout out to you, be confident, but to actually see people that actually, not that no one deserves their success, but to see them. To see you vocalize, no, I'm successful, but don't get it twisted.
Absolutely.
This is what I had to go through. And I'm willing to share it. And if you're suffering through it, come talk to me. Like, I got you. So I know you did a lot of that too.
No, I'm very humble. Like, I have to, because I know God will take this all away.
Of course.
If I'm not humble. And my mom and my sister and my dad especially, like, my dad is yachty. Like, wears a do-rag, has a nose ring, he doesn't ramp, and he doesn't care. And he will, like, let me know about my shit if I'm slacking. So like I have a core
foundation of a family,
friends. Like they keep me grounded. And I think that's important.
Yeah, but your determination alone just shows you your character. You know?
Yes.
So,
thank you.
Yes, that's like the highlight of it all. Story. You know. Yeah. So I was gonna just kind of ask like how you coped with COVID and all that stuff, and you know, transitioning with last year with your success. I know you're with Cityline a lot right now with Tracy Moore. How did COVID affect you with all of this?
So it sounds bad, but COVID actually like pushed my career to a whole other level.
Wow, that's a lot of people.
A lot of people.
It was very weird, like very weird. Like I remember, I was actually working throughout the whole of COVID because I was doing visual merchandising. I had like my own little visual merchandising, what do you call it, career where I would contract with different clients and stuff. So instead of like, because I've worked, like I said, for Saks, Harry Rosen, and all those places, but unfortunately, the pay was never good enough for me. And no matter how high I climbed, there's just like this cap.
There's a cap.
And it just bugged me. And I'm like, no, I can do this on my own. So not only did I do like visual merchandising for like clothing, I got into like cosmetic merchandising for like Walmart and Shoppers Drug Mart, like these places where you see like those cosmetic walls and you see the nail polish, the lipsticks and stuff. Somebody puts that whole thing together. And one of those people was me.
Nice.
So
I'll appreciate you more when I go into sessions.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, I did that, and I got into like plant merchandising at like Walmart. So it was like, although I wasn't a Walmart employee, I was contracted with a company who delivered plants to there. So my time was just like watering the plants. I listened to like my headphones, listening to my podcast, I'm watering the plants, doing my own thing, whatever. And when the whole world shut down, Walmart and Shoppers Drug Mart was still going on.
And you're watering the
plants.
Just
listening to podcast. So I didn't really feel it like that. But then an opportunity in February of last year came about with Cityline. And when Tracy Moore messaged me on Instagram, she was just like, yeah, I would love for you to come in for an interview. I thought she wanted me to style her. Like, that was the idea. And I'm just like, how did you hear about me? Like, who told you? Just like, you know, I went to an event and somebody mentioned your name to me. And I'm like,
oh, wow.
Okay, cool. And this wasn't even a person that I even knew like that. It's just somebody that I met through somebody else. And she told me to come in for an interview. She was like, okay, I want altogether come up with like 3 or 4 looks. So I got all black models, all different shapes and sizes.
And Tracy Moore is all about like
absolutely.
She uses her platform. I'm obsessed with her.
Yeah, it was very important. So I got them, put them in outfits, had my audition, and I'm like, okay, cool. I know I aced this. I feel confident and whatever. So I'm gonna be Tracy's stylist and so on. And then 3 weeks later, this was like beginning of March of last year, I got an email and they're like, we want you on. So you're filming your next segment on Cityline April 1st.
Oh my
So when I read it, I'm like filming my next segment. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Like your story's so emotional, I'm trying to hold back.
I'm like, what are you talking about? So I'm there messaging Tracy. Tracy. I'm just like, who is this email for? Because it's not for me. Like, honestly, I was starting. I'm like, yeah, I was just like, I am really confused at this. The wording doesn't make sense. She's like, why are they saying I'm going to be on? She's just like, yeah, you're going to be on Cityline. I'm like, why? I messaged her, I'm like, why? She's just like, yeah, you don't need to be behind the camera. You need to be in front of the camera. I'm like,
see that?
Jeez. Okay.
Not even behind the camera.
Yeah, not even behind.
Like,
and yeah, so I was getting ready for it, and then COVID happened, and they shut down the studio, and they were just like, yeah, so we don't know where you're going to be on because we don't know what's going on.
Of course, nobody knew.
We have to evacuate the studio. So I'm like, okay, cool. Kept it in like my little didn't tell anybody what was happening because I didn't know if I was going to be on there.
Right.
And then last year, May, they messaged me and they're like, would you be interested in doing Cityline? I'm like, how? They're like, from your house. So do you have a mic? Do you have an iPhone? Do you have another phone? Because we're going to do this remotely. So you got to set up your room.
Look, I'm telling you.
As a studio. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, cool. And set it up as a studio. Had technical difficulties because it was their first time trying it out. Yeah. And luckily my mom wasn't home whenever I was filming because my mom, you know my mom is loud. Yeah. So like,
we love you.
So she wasn't home whenever I was filming, and yeah, they set me up with this app where I couldn't see them, but they could see me, and then I could hear them. And so once I would communicate through the phone, set up everything, and yeah, my first segment was on, I think it was June 25th was my first segment, and then after that, every month
kept going.
I've just been on.
Sweet.
Wow,
so,
nice.
So do you know who's the one that referred you? Do you know who's the one that
Yes, so, gosh, I cannot remember her name. I think it was, gosh, she's gonna kill me if I even, it starts, I think her name is Jeanette. But my friend Monique has this woman who Monique referred her to me because she was looking for a stylist, and I spoke to the woman one time, and she was just like, okay, you know, when I get my money together, I'll holler at you. I'm like, okay, cool, yeah, it is what it is. But we've always kept in touch, and right after at first she's the one that told me that she told Tracy about me, and I'm like, you don't even know me. She's like, yeah, but I know your work.
She liked your vibe.
Yeah.
She liked your work.
Exactly.
That's why, like, the takeaway from that is you always leave a good impression with people.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah, you never know
who they know.
Exactly. And the joke
100%.
is, she doesn't even know Tracy. She was at an event, seeing Tracy. Tracy was just like, yeah, I'm revamping Cityline. And she's like, oh, I know somebody. And
look at that.
That was it.
Wow, just like
look
that.
At that. Just like that.
Just like that.
You never know what rooms people are in.
Listen to
never
me.
know.
In Toronto, we talk about Toronto all the time.
It's so
Toronto
small.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, amen to that.
Good for you.
Oh,
so I'm gonna segue a little bit.
Oh yes, girl.
Taking
please.
it away from your professional.
I'm get emotional. I'm crying.
I'm gonna back tears.
I've been emotional. I can't. We're gonna have to change the topic.
Yes.
Okay? So. Obviously, you know, like we focus on NGK, on dating and relationships.
Yes.
No secret. That's our thing.
Yeah.
So, we want to know, what is your relationship status for anybody who's watching and interested?
I mean,
you're sipping your wine. Take your time. Think carefully how you want to answer that.
So I'll say I am talking to somebody. Talking.
Okay.
Getting to know somebody.
Yeah.
Getting to know.
Okay.
Getting to know
It's not
somebody.
official.
Yeah, it's not official. For the first time, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going with the flow.
Right.
I made my intentions clear to this person, and I'm not putting any pressure, but I let this person know this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a relationship.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna waste my time, exit stage left.
Next.
Just it. Yeah. And it's no hard feelings. It's nothing personal or whatever. Like, I wish you the best. But
all the best.
This is what I'm looking for.
Yeah. You know what you want.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. And I do online dating. So I've been very candid about that.
Okay.
My Instagram and everything. Like, anytime somebody asks
Which
me.
I love about you.
I'm cool with the online dating because especially during COVID, like, who was going out?
Yeah.
And I don't want to meet anybody in my industry per se. Like, that's just not me. So whenever I go out to a club and stuff, it's usually these social events. I mean, you can meet somebody there, but Toronto's so small. Like, it's weird. It's just like, nah, I'd rather just find somebody just not in my
circle.
Industry. Yeah. So him and I, we met online, and it's good. It's good vibes, and everything is good. Everything
is
not
good. Okay.
Everything. Okay. So I know my mom may be watching, but
mama's gonna be excited.
You didn't say too much.
Yeah.
So a question I have to spin on that. So you met him on the dating app. What do you think about still being on the dating apps? Are you still on the dating apps while getting to know? Like, how does that work for you?
So I'm still on. My profile is still on there because in the past I'd be like, oh my god, okay, this is going good. Let me lock off. Everybody. No, it's on. It's still there.
It's a getting to know stage. It's like that's kind of a gray area.
But what I'm doing is I'm not going on the app and like looking for somebody. It's there. Right. My pictures are still there.
Okay.
But I'm trying to focus my energy on this person.
I like that a lot.
Because I can't really multitask like that. Like,
remember we talked about that? Yeah. Some women, and obviously men too. Yeah. I think it's a little bit easier, a lot easier for men. Yeah. But some women, it's like an art.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how they can focus on more than one man at a time. That's overwhelming.
It's wild.
It's overwhelming. Can you do that?
I mean,
you're one of the ones that can do that. You can do it.
So here's the thing. Like, I've never done online dating, and I'm totally open to it. I would like to try it in the future. But I think the industry I've been in, or like my bros, my older bros, or whatever. So there's always been like 1-2 back in the day, back in before last year. I think we talked about it, like before my cleansing years. But I have done it, and it's not that although but this is another topic we'll talk about all the time. But it can happen because you're not really. Your intentions are not to date at the time. Your intentions are to just learn about yourself. You know what I mean? And whoever's around, as long as you know that that's what it is. And I'm not looking for that. But if it transpires to that, obviously I'll narrow it down to that one person. But right now it's like,
You can talk to like a few at a time.
A few at a time.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's tricky for me. Like I'll maybe talk to one other person, but just kind of.
Because when you do find one that you kind of like a lot more,
you naturally pull away.
Yeah,
naturally.
That's what I've done. That's what I did.
Yeah.
Homeboy, it's just like, okay, I'm feeling this. Like, you're doing all the right things right now. Cool. Like, I let you know my intentions, and you're like, all right, cool. And you're showing that you're interested in. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna give you a try.
Entertain it.
Yeah, I absolutely love it.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
I love it.
Cool.
I love it.
So have you heard the statement, "You're single until you're married"? Have you?
Yes, I have. I've heard the statement.
Okay. Do you agree with that?
No.
Okay.
No.
What about you two?
I'm thinking about it. It's a work in progress.
Like, I feel like I'm single until I'm married because
I really do feel like I'm single until I'm married because anything could happen between that. However, if I'm in a solid relationship and we're focused on each other and our goal is to be together, I'm not going to step outside the relationship.
Yes, exactly.
However, I'm not going to think you're the one, especially if it's like a year in or whatnot, and you're not really putting forward all the right steps to make sure that this is going to be together.
Agreed. Right? I believe actions speak louder than words. So if you're showing me that this is what you want and so on, then okay, cool.
Let's
we
do
are
this.
in this.
We're in this.
But I give people chances. I let them know, like, I'm not into the long talking.
No,
like,
not anymore.
I'm not trying to like figure out
No.
what's going on. No, if there's an issue, I'm letting you know.
Period.
Like flat out. Like, okay, I'm not feeling wanted. I'm not getting the attention that I need.
Period.
This is what needs to happen.
Right.
If you can't do this,
then I gotta go.
1-2 times, I'm out.
Yeah.
That's just it.
Explanation.
Yeah, no explanation. I don't care how cute you are. I don't care how
you have
sex
sense.
is.
Like,
it's whatever.
You must have sense.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's nothing personal. Like it's just.
And I don't really think a lot. Like when I hear women like you or you ladies, like I truly am confident that what it is that we ask for is not too much that we ask for.
It really isn't.
It's not out of the ordinary. So if you can't even come through with half the bare minimum and a commitment in a sense where like your actions are not really. Like I feel like your actions should speak even louder than like your words. You know what I mean? Like text messages are great, making me feel good are great, but like what are you really doing? Like your efforts, because we're all so busy, right?
Yeah.
So.
And my mom's friend, say her ex-friend, used to tell me and my sister something all the time where it came on to men. It's just like Barack Obama handled 52 states and still made sure that he was around Michelle made sure that Michelle was happy.
You know what?
I'm sure they have their issues and stuff, but at the end of the day, when you see Michelle around Barack,
you know he's holding it down.
Yep, and he ran 52 states. So who are you?
Yeah,
that's true.
To talk. If with a 1-2 job you can't handle it, oh my God.
It's true.
Yeah.
You know?
It's true.
The excuses for me.
Do you think it's wrong to date just for money?
As you're talking about.
Exactly.
Well, when you get older, right? Like you know that, I'm sure you aware, right? Like what you look for changes, it shifts, right? Yeah. And I mean, I'm sorry, but living in the city of Toronto, it's quite expensive.
Expensive.
So there's some people who date solely for financial security and all of that. Yes. Do you think there's something wrong with dating just for money?
Not just for money. There needs to be other reasons on why this person or why you're looking for this person. Like, for instance, I had my share of. Can I swear on here?
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that you asked.
Broke N-words. Broke.
Oh, that.
Yeah. I've had my share of broke guys. Like, real talk.
Realtalk.com. Let's
had
log in.
them when I was in my 20s and so on, and then. Being like an artist myself, I gravitated to a lot of musicians and artists.
Yes,
the ones that are trying to like figure it out and so on. Because I'm like, I'm gonna be there for you, and then when you get up there, you're gonna look at me and be like, yes, you were here through all this and whatever, and then I'm gonna be fly and Nope.
Right?
Nope. It's not cute.
A lot of us did that.
It's not cute. Like the one that's always the driver. That was me. Yeah. I was the one that was always driving. I've had situations. You know what? I'll save that for another time. Because
you're definitely coming back.
Yeah, I've had some broke dudes, and I'm just literally like, really? Like, why? Like, you should be out trying to find a job. Yeah. Like, why are you really out here trying to look for women? Like, that's just me. Get yourself together.
I agree.
And then come to me. Especially like, not to toot my own horn, but I'm taking care of myself. Yeah. I'm doing well for myself. Yeah. Not like I'm not making bulk money.
You're doing well for yourself.
But I'm okay. Like I'm cool. Yeah. But I don't want a liability. Like, exactly. I don't want a liability. Exactly. You need to be an asset. Point blank.
Come ever as an asset. Otherwise,
no liability. So
not at this age. We had time when we were
absolutely younger. Not. So any dude that I talk to, I'm like, I want to be financially stable.
Yes. Exactly.
Point blank. Like, I'm not saying that I'm going to sit down and not work because I want to work, but you got to be bringing some money into the table.
And we talked about that on an episode before too. It's like, things like traveling. Are you covering your trip and theirs? Like, how does that look when you go out to eat? What you covering the meals all the time? Like that gets tired real fast,
real quick. It almost immediately.
And you end up resenting that person. And I know for me, I will look the other way. And as soon as I start feeling that way, I'm not gonna cheat. I'm just gonna be like, you know what? This is not working out for me. And I'm out.
100%.
Good for you.
100%. Yeah. In terms of marriage being a woman's security, do you think that's a thing?
A woman's security. In what sense? Like, give me an example if you can. Like, what do you mean? Because there's so many women that are kicking out right now from marriages. Like Dr. Dre's wife, which was asking for like,
although I will say, you know what though? So we had an argument, not on this podcast. We're talking about it, and I'm glad you asked that question because I think there's women now that are just looking to date, but some are looking to marry to be financially secure. If they're not married, they don't feel the security. So that's different. Versus, I think if certain women, like I never dated a celebrity. I don't know what it's like to be in that household every day, what you have to deal with, especially with kids and your stepkids. You don't know what the woman has been through, and I think it's easy to automatically look at these messages, look at this post being like, oh, she wants all this money now, blah, blah, because he's rich. You don't know what she had to deal with as well, right? And honestly, if you are that rich, honestly, I don't feel bad if you have to fork out all that money because chances are in between you probably cheated, you probably, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying all men have done that, but I really don't feel bad for men having to put out half, whatever, because some of these women that are in this relationship are literally putting up with a lot, and they've sacrificed a lot, and they've had to privatize their lives a lot, and probably missed a lot of, I don't know, this is just hypothetically speaking, it's just to say, honestly, some of these men are just not the best men.
I understand, and like just talking to different guys, even in the past, like when they would mention about prenups, I'd be insulted. Anytime a man mentioned a prenup to me back in the day, I'd be like, okay, so what do you say? What do you say? You're not exactly type of thing, or is this like, oh, so you're automatically thinking that we're not gonna last? Okay, cool, got you. Yeah. But as I'm getting older and even seeing the like where I want to be in my career, and how much money I want to make and stuff like that, I don't want to see my money.
Yeah.
So
I think that's okay.
So with that being said, like, what's your ideal man then? If you have one.
I do. And my list used to be hella long. Like, so long. It was ridiculous. I used to only date American men, number one.
Okay.
That was my thing.
Okay.
Like, I was gonna say, like, what's your city? Like, is it Toronto? Is it hard to find guys in Toronto?
It's extremely hard to find guys in Toronto. Very, very, very
I think we've
hard.
talked about this.
Yes, a billion times.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it's impossible. But I know what I'm looking for, and so far I have not found that guy in Toronto.
Me neither.
Yeah, and the thing about it is too is like I said, I used to do the whole long distance thing, and then as I started to get older, I'm just like, I want somebody closer, especially during COVID.
Yeah, see, when the pandemic hit, we didn't even think something would happen like this. And now you can't even travel. Like,
listen, you wouldn't even like, I was in New York like every summer. Like, are you kidding me? Like, get my little, like, that was my fix. Like, I'd go to New York and get a little guy to like be like, hey girl, what's going on? Like, go to Brooklyn. I felt live.
Exactly.
Life was just like, what am I doing?
Shut down.
Like, now I was living in Markham. I'm just like, damn, there's nobody, not one. Like, I was waiting for somebody to just holler at me, something, and it wasn't happening. But so I was, for the last few years, I've just been open to finding somebody in Toronto, but I'm just like, it's difficult.
It's still difficult.
It's very difficult, but like the ideal is I don't mind finding somebody here if it works, but he gotta have his shit together. And I don't mind that little bit of American je ne sais quoi, because it's important. Like, it's a hustle mentality. I lived in New York, and I see how those guys. Listen, they're hustlers. They do whatever it takes.
It's different.
Like, you got a little 6-year-old giving out batteries and water.
I'm telling you, it's like in their DNA.
Like,
it's in their
just
DNA.
like this hustler mentality, and I love that.
It makes you want to work hard too.
Yeah, exactly.
So being in your 30s now dating, do you have like an age preference or?
So here's the thing. My mom, she's 57? So, and my mom has been very vocal about dating guys like closer
older?
to like, not older. She doesn't mind dating a guy like younger than her, or even say 48, 49. So I gotta be mindful.
Oh wow, you guys are like in the same age bracket.
Somewhat, Now she's in a relationship, which is great.
Yeah.
But before, it was almost like, okay, so you're dating somebody that's in their 40s, and I'm gonna date somebody that's in their 40s. Like, this is a little weird. So I always have to keep that in mind. But now she's in a relationship, which is cool. But I don't want to date anybody in their 50s because it's too close to my mom. It's my mom's age. Just seems a little weird.
Fair enough.
To me. Yeah. But I've dated somebody that was when I was in my early 30s. He was in his, I think I was 31, and he was 44.
Okay.
Yeah. And he doesn't look it. He didn't look it.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah, he didn't look it at
But the 45-year-olds don't look 45
They really don't. I think it's when they hit 55. That 55, 56 mark, yeah. I think it's like depending on your race, it really shows.
But some young guys, there was this TikTok showing some young guys, how some young guys are looking like old. Like old as hell right now.
I don't know the difference with some of these black men.
It's just so hard.
Yeah. I'm like, how he looks like he's like 42, but he's really like 38.
Listen, like I love Kofi's. What is this? Kofi.
Yes, I love him too.
Sitter or something like that.
Sirobi.
I'm obsessed with him. Yeah. Met him when I was in Miami. He's like
how did you?
An amazing
how are you?
soul. I almost like melted. My girl had to like hold me up. Like literally, I'm just like I'm going to rip his pants off. Like I'm obsessed with this man.
My God.
He's just beautiful. And then he looks like he was in his late 30s, early 40s. When I met him, he was 23, and that was only what. 4 or 5 years ago.
That's crazy.
He's not even 30 yet.
Not even.
I had to Google his age too, because I'm like, nah, he's too cute. Like, how old is he? And I'm like, no, he's a baby.
Yeah, he's a baby. He's a baby. Wow. Like,
I mean, don't get it twisted. Some of these young men are coming up like with multiple entrepreneurship like arenas.
I know.
And they're about to shake and move the game. So I'm here for the young ones. Depending, not too young, but you know. Too young. But like, I'm if you look the part and you look the age.
Yeah.
You know?
But regarding the whole marriage thing about security and so on, for some women, they do look at it as a security. For me, I don't really look at it as that, because I know at the end of the day, if the guy wants to cheat, he's gonna cheat.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yep.
A marriage is not gonna hold you down.
Yeah. It's just not gonna hold him down. Like back in the day, it would. Nowadays,
no.
So is marriage something on your list to do? Or?
I do want to get married. That's one thing that I definitely want. When it comes on to children, that's something that I'm not sure. Before, I thought about having a child and so on, but I think it was more of a society thing in the back of my head.
I'm hearing that a lot more these days. I'm hearing that a lot more these days. People are finally realizing that, like, I don't have to have children. I don't need to date, get married, buy a house, have a child. You know what I mean? It used to be so structured. It's like, no, I can really just do what I feel like doing.
It doesn't have to be like that at all. And then I have a younger sister who is married, has a child, and so on, and I felt like I needed to be in this rough speed up, because everybody was just like, okay, Janielle, when is your child? When are you getting married? And
how many times a day do you get asked, like, oh my God, when are you getting married? When are you gonna have kids? I get it at least 10 times a day.
It's like quite a bit.
No, not really. I already have kids, so it's different.
Oh yeah, you have kids. But the marriage
I think when you don't have. Not really, no.
Okay.
No. But I think when you don't have kids, then people want to know, like, okay, marriage and kids, it's like it comes together.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I've had a man flat out tell me, met him online, funny enough, and he flat out told me, first of all, he had like 5 kids. He was Haitian from New York. So there's some American men that are trash. Like there's men everywhere. There's men anywhere that's trash. Doesn't matter. Yeah. So like, it's pretty much anywhere. And he asked me, he was just like, so why don't you have kids? What's wrong with you? Flat out.
Yeah.
And I was just like, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm working on my career and getting my shit together. And at the end of the day, I haven't found somebody that I want to have a kid with. Like, that's just how it is. It just haven't happened. And it's just like, no, you need to have one. I'm coming down to Toronto, and I'm going to breed you. Flat out.
No, it's wild. Because a couple of weeks ago, I met this guy who has 13 children. And he said that he's going to give me 5 more.
Okay. So like, no, that conversation would have been done kids, at the 13.
Yep, 3 sets of twins, okay?
3 sets of twins.
Then he would give you twins for sure.
And I'm just like, maybe I'll end up with triplets. Maybe I'll end up with triplets and you're done in one shot.
Girl,
I'm joking.
Where is he from, this guy?
I know. He lives in Mississippi. He's an older gentleman. He's around 45. But still, I could not entertain you after I found out you have 13
So then you have to be a stepmom to how many kids?
Because I feel like that's irresponsible.
At least he didn't lie. No, it's irresponsible, but a lot of them will lie. Yeah, a lot of them will lie. So, I mean, I guess I slightly give him ratings for the fact that he didn't lie. But at the same time, it's like, how dare you?
The thing is, he's doing well I'll give it to him because he's doing really well. He's very successful. But at the same time, you have 13 children.
That is, what are we in 1954?
How could a woman pick you up, be okay with that? I don't know.
But
well, look at Future. It's mind-boggling how these guys think it's women.
I can't even.
That's for another episode.
Honestly, my head
I don't
just
even
hurt.
find him like
You just had me
attractive.
I'm just wondering, like, what does he do? He got some magic something.
He has a magic stick.
But
hello,
look at Nick Cannon. Hello.
It's true.
Nick Cannon is out here,
but he has a different view on it. He feels that he's successful. He has a lot of money, so he's like, where am I leaving my money to? He's like, if I have so much fortune, I might as well make babies. You know what I mean?
No,
it's
no.
But it's still, I feel like it's irresponsible.
I mean, if you want to have it with one, sure, but you're not going to use that to justify how many different going left, right, center, everywhere.
It's ridiculous.
No.
That's his view on it.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's poor justification. Yes, you have money, cool. Build an empire and leave it for your 2 children. Exactly. They will leave it for their children to leave for their children. You don't need to plant seeds everywhere.
But he feels as if he's in his kids' lives. He's all of his kids' lives. So it's not to say that he's
no. This is wrong, and you know why it's wrong? Because it takes 2 people to create a child. Okay, and I find that there's too much of that mentality floating around, and it's like, hello, did anybody forget that a home takes 2 adults?
It's true.
Like, where did that get lost? Somewhere along the line, it's like, okay, well, I have money. Okay, well, I talk to all of them. Oh, I see them every weekend. No. Children need both parents.
They need to wake up
in
and
the house.
See the examples.
It's see the example of love. There's too many broken homes. It's like, okay, well, I have the money. It's not the money. And it's not just about seeing your kids on weekends. Yeah, it's seeing them on Wednesdays.
Yeah,
it's true.
You know what I mean?
Wednesdays work too.
It's true.
And you can also drop them down on Tuesday night.
No, like build a home, man. I'm all for building a home with a family.
It's true. I was listening to a podcast and they were just like, yo, I wonder what Mariah Carey is thinking right now with him just like Nick Cannon just literally traveling to all these like
I think she's over it.
Yeah, she's not even
great.
like she's just over it. She's just like probably less laughing at the whole situation.
Yeah.
Like, yo, what's wrong with this fool?
My ex is crazy.
Yeah,
I've never rated Nick Cannon. I'm glad you brought it up too.
Yeah, he's crazy.
I never really rated him.
No.
All right,
well, at that, we're gonna wrap it up.
Okay.
Thank you so much for coming on. We have to have you back on because I think
we're not done.
Guys,
I knew
there's so much to say, so much to explore. Always, honestly, loved having you on, and thanks so much for sharing your story.
Thank you for the wine and the food and everything.
Of course. Shout out Karina on this charcuterie board.
You did this?
Yes.
She did.
I know.
Okay, hiring.
Yeah, come on.
New business.
Listen, if you on Cityline, you need a charcuterie board in the setting.
No, girl.
She's available. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, holiday planning right here. Bring you for Christmas.
Definitely.
Let's go. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to yet another episode. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube, okay? Go ahead, hit that subscribe button. If you're listening on any of the podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc., go head on to our YouTube, subscribe to our channel. Our Instagram is #3way with NGK. Follow us there. And